Good day, and thank you for joining me for the ministry of Garden Ministry. Garden Ministry has many aspects to it. It has a blog and other devotionals which it puts out, and many other things which it also puts out. But one thing which it definitely tries to do is to keep people abreast with planting certain types of food. And today we are talking about Chayote, or better known in some districts of the world as Christophine. These plants grow rapidly once they start moving, but we need to understand how to start the plants and what makes them move. So again, let's take a look at the actual plant itself from the very root system of which it grows from, and get a clear understanding of how it best is able to suit you and help you in the various benefits of the plant itself. So as we're looking here at some Christophine or Chayote. And as you can see them growing up, they tend to stretch up quite high. Wherever they're growing to, they're going to actually develop. And so this plant here needs to be cut back. And as you can see on the plant itself, there's quite a bit that's actually growing over what we know as one of the most favorable plants of the world, one would tend to say, and that is wild locusts and honey. But let's look at the plant itself or the seed of the Christophine and get a clearer understanding for ourselves. And so as we see here, I'm holding a Christophine itself in the ear. And as you can see, looking here at the mouth of the Christophine, and as you can see here, it's got these little portions that are coming out of it. That's the root system itself. This is the vine that springs up. And so you can just imagine, this is my hand holding one. I'm holding it in the hand itself, and that's a pretty good size. And when you start to grow these things, they're quite easy. You actually tip it like this. The same way how it's tipped in the ear on a side, on an angle, is the way how you grow it. And the plant itself would actually the vine itself would actually go up in the ear, and then it would take root. What I tend to tell people that when you start growing this particular plant here, if you want it to grow all year round, you should grow this plant here with the root system on the northern or western side of where the vine's grown to. Give shade to where the root system is, which allows it to be able to establish itself much longer. When you cover the actual root itself, don't cover it all the way, only cover it up where my hand is right here. That's all you need, and this part is coming out of the earth. So if the plant of the root or the seed dropped, it's going to drop like this here, and then it's going to grow from this angle. So let's go take a further look through the garden itself and see many more Christophines. And as you can see, the vines are actually moving. The vines are moving, and wherever the vine moves to, it's going to produce. And so I need to cut these back. This is where they start. And as you can see here, the flowers. And this particular plant here, it's quite active. It's an active plant here, and so it's producing quite rapidly. And but let's look farther through. And as you can see, what is that? That's a pumpkin. A pumpkin just growing wild as well. And let's walk through the garden and take a look at some of the things that are in the garden. And as you can see, tons and tons of Christophine. And I say tons and tons of Christophine. All the way through, you find Christophine hanging and producing. See, Yeah. Christophines, one of the most enjoyable vegetables of which one can actually subscribe to. And as you can see, the plant itself, it's really, really busting out. It's busting out, and it's actually doing quite a bit in the context. It's doing quite a bit in the context of its growth. Let's take a further look through the garden, and we're concentrating today on the Christophine itself. That's where our concentration is going to be, on the Christophine. But as we're walking around in this garden here, we're getting a look at some of the things that are in the garden to be able to help us to appreciate where the Christophine grows. It grows among a number of things. So what I've done, I've actually established a trellis. Okay, established a trellis, and this is the trellis that is growing on, and so it's growing this way. As you can see, another Christophine just bulging out. As soon as I touch them, they're just falling off. And as you can see them just bulging out, doing their own thing. And that's what plants do when you don't really spend much time in the garden of taming them. But they will produce. That's one thing about them. They will produce. And as you can see, all the way through, you see Christophine on Christophine just producing all the way through the actual setting here of plants, of vegetables that are actually just growing all the way through, as you can see. So the trellis itself going up in the air. Let's take this one down. This one here is actually starting to come out. And as you can see, as this one comes out here, you can see it's ready for transplanting here. So I would set this into the ground, but it's ready. This is ready to be put into the ground and ready for transplanting. And everything has its benefits. Some of the benefits of Christophines, believe it or not, actually it helps with your heart condition, cholesterol, high blood pressure. There's a number of other benefits of Christophine. If you're suffering with any wounds or any internal healings that need to be done, believe it or not, the Christophine itself helps the healing process to move a little bit more rapidly. I'm a living testimony of that aspect. But what we have here is a mixture of Christophine vines and also pumpkin vines. And so they're intertwining one with another here. But as you come underneath the actual trellis itself, as you can see me walking underneath it, all this here would have to come off now. I need to take all this off, and so I'll come back out later on, and I'll take all of this old stuff off here, and then I'll just redirect the plant back on top of here to be able to provide a good canopy for the summer. And the ones that are growing further on, then I would just redirect those ones there. I didn't realize that there were Christophine still on top of here. So as I'm here picking, as you can see, I'm picking this Christophine right here, right? And so I have a ready for planting, and that's the way how I've been doing it. I've been just continuously growing them, very easy, and they're very easy to grow. My word to anyone who's actually planning on growing Christophines, please, if you're planning on growing them, make sure you have a good place which you're actually growing them from. I want to take you down to the root system itself, because sometimes you fail to see the root system. So I planted here two Christophines. And the Christophines are actually on the northern side of this trellis, as you can see. That's one. And here we have, this is two. That's growing up right here. Okay? So all of this Christophine here, it just comes up from two. And looking further into, that's how the Christophines are growing. You can see that? They're just taking root all over the place. Christophines, they're just growing up. And as you can see them right here, this Christophine here as well. So my word to you, and as well as to anyone else, if you're planning on growing Christophine, like I said earlier, make sure you have space to grow them. If not, then just cut back the actual growth from the very front side of it, and then it would just split out, and you just control it on the trellis itself. That can be done, but make sure you take all of the old leaves off. You take that off. The vine itself is stable. It would actually redirect itself, and it would grow well. So again, we've been learning lessons from the garden today, and our focal point has been on the Christophine. Last but not least, they're expensive in the shop, but at home they're free. One Christophine brought from a shop may cost you like $4 to $5, and but in your home, from that one Christophine, you can have many. I actually went to the shop. I brought a decent size Christophine, one of which I felt that was able to produce and give me what I'm looking for in the context of good food. Then I nurtured that particular seed itself to what I have today, and now I have tons and tons and tons, able to do things a little bit more positively with them. Now, if persons are desiring to have Christophine, may I say this to you, I give away a lot of stuff, but because this is a major medicine, I will not be just giving away Christophine to just anyone. You'd have to be able to give a donation toward the seed bank, which we operate under the Grow, Eat, and Save, and also under what we know as, here at the Science Lab, as the Abundant Harvest Garden. So again, I'm operating what is called the Abundant Harvest Garden, which is literally a science lab of which I'm doing quite a bit of practicing tricks and tips to be able to develop the best of the best vegetables of which one can be able to eat, also be able to sustain their families at such a crisis time as this. So I'm encouraging you to do likewise. And if you're not too sure of how to start them, then please contact us here. I'm Chaplain Kevin Santucci. It's been good talking to you today and to your family. Wish you well and all the best with your continuation of you growing food. Have a wonderful day, all of you.